Dear students, welcome to the Social Science e-learning class. Myself, Sunita Shanai, Social Science tutor. I hope you are all safe and making the good use of time. In this session, you are going to learn about Unit 3, the impact of British rule in India. Let us discuss very important topics in this lesson. First one, the administrative and judicial system. And the second one is land tax policies, followed by modern education, and the last one is constitutional developments in India. British East India Company was a trade company which fulfilled its commercial needs. Later on, observing the fractured political landscape of India, wherein hundreds of ruling dynasties were competing with each other, British thought of utilizing this situation to further their political consolidation. They implemented divide and rule policy. It becomes easy to rule us. This policy creates controversy between two kings and divides their unity. British utilized that situation for their political purpose. Slowly, British dominated all the rulers and subjugated them under their control. It means whole India come under the control of British. Later, British also implemented various other clever techniques in India. Like divide and rule policy, they also implemented war and negotiation. It means waging wars and making treaties. Thus, the British integrated whole of India under one administrative and political structure. This credit goes to the British East India Company, which was implemented various administrative experiments in order to achieve a new order in India. Administrative and judicial system. First, let us move on to civil service. What do you mean by civil service? It means the body of government officials who are employed in civil occupation. They are neither political nor judicial. Employees selected and promoted on the basis of merit and seniority system, which includes examination. In India, Indian Union Public Service Commission recruits the officials for the All India Administrative Civil Service. In 1786, Lord Cornwallis appointed as Governor of India. He introduced administration of civil service in India. The system of appointing employees for the purpose of trade was done by East India Company. In the beginning, company provided permission for the private workers to trade, but by using this opportunity, employees made money and became corrupt through illegal means. To control this misuse, in 1773, the government of England implemented Regulating Act in India. In 1800, Lord Cornwallis opened Port William College in Calcutta for the benefit of people aspiring to join civil service. But this initiation did not find support from the directors of East India Company. So, till 1853, appointments were done by the directors of East India Company. From 1853 onwards, the appointments for the civil service were done through competitive examination. But sad to say, because this process did not benefit Indians much. British continued to suspect the efficiency of Indians. According to Lord Cornwallis' opinion, all the natives of Hindustan are completely corrupt. As a result, only lower grade jobs were given to Indians. British overtook the authority of Mughals and established their supremacy in India. Since then, a new judicial system started finding roots in India. After the Battle of Buxar, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II handed over the Diwani rights to the British. Diwani rights means the authority to collect the land taxes. As a result, dual government system came into effect in Bengal presidency. So what is dual government? Dual government system was introduced by Robert Clive in the Bengal presidency area. According to this, the civil and judicial responsibilities were given to Indian officials or Nawab, and the British took over the responsibility of collecting land revenue. In 1772, Warren Hastings took over the administration as Governor of India. Before his arrival in India, imparting justice was based on the religious codes. For Hindus, they followed Hindu scripts like Bhagavad Gita, and for the Muslims, Shariat. Warren Hastings established two types of courts in India. First one, a Diwani Adalat as a civil court, and the second one, a Fauzdari Adalat as a criminal court. Slowly, British procedures were introduced in Indian criminal courts. Civil courts came under the control of supervision of British officers. Criminal courts were under the in charge of qazis, but they were functioning under the supervision of European officers. So let us conclude that British brought a uniform judicial system all over India, and traditional system of imparting justice slowly disappeared in India. Dear students, once again recap the judicial system. The main points are: two types of the courts were established in India: Diwani Adalat, a civil court; Fauzdari Adalat, a criminal court. Hindus were dispensed justice as per Hindu scriptures. Muslims were dispensed justice, Shariat. Slowly, the British legal procedures were introduced in India. Civil courts were supervised by European officers, and the criminal courts were supervised by qazis. Police are in charge of maintaining the internal law and order situation. Lord Cornwallis implemented the efficient police system in India for the first time. He created the new post of Superintendent of Police, usually we call SP. He divided a district into many stations and put every station under a kotwal. Every village came under the care of Chowkidar. Kotwal was also in charge of the theft, crime, and other law violations at village level. But 1770, severe drought occurred in India that made the weak law and order situation. British started to control India. The entire police system came under the control of British officers. The system of appointing British magistrate started in 1781, and all police officers were under the power of magistrate. In 1902, the Police Commission Law allowed the appointments on the basis of suitable educational qualifications, but still discrimination against Indians did not stop. Dear students, let's have a brief recap. To maintain internal law and order, police system was introduced. Superintendent of Police, a new post was created. Districts divided into many stations. Kotwal, in charge station. Villages in charge by Chowkidars. Kotwal was accountable for the theft, crimes and other law violations at village level. In 1781, the system of appointing British magistrates started. Police officers were under the power of magistrates. In 1902, Police Commission Law allowed the appointments of police officers on the basis of educational qualification. Military was the base of administration during the British rule. In the actual sense, British took over the entire India under their control with the help of Indian soldiers or Indian army. But it was clearly visible that Indians could not able to reach higher grade in the army. Indians could reach the rank of Subedar, that was the highest post available to them. Most of the Indians were coolie soldiers, that means they had to fight in the war and made to die. In 1857, the British government accepted the recommendation of field and military system was reorganized. Dear students, let us recap military system. British appointed Indians for the military. Indians were given the rank of Subedar. Most of the Indians were coolie soldiers. Peel Committee's recommendations were adopted in 1857. The traditional education of Indians was in practice continuously. That was Gurukula system. Let us see how modern education system entered in India. Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of modern education in India. Later, new changes were occurred during British rule. New schools were started for the children of British and Europeans living in India, but these facilities never extended to the local. In 1781, Warren Hastings started Calcutta Madrasa. Jonathan Duncan, a British individual, started Sanskrit College in Benares in 1792. Charles Grant also pressed for the universalization of British education in India. Universalization education means education for every child. At the time of Lord William Bentinck, there were great changes in the field of education. He appointed Macaulay as the chairperson of Committee on Education. The Macaulay's report was the base of modern education in India. It resulted in creation of a new class of Indians who are Indians by body, but British in intelligence, opinion and taste. English medium in Indian learning system started. Governor General Lord Dalhousie established universities in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Let us study about the impact of British education in India. Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic ideas. Impetus was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated class. Periodicals also started in regional languages. New social and religious reformation movements emerged. The thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau, and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the minds of educated youth of India. The freedom struggles that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. Thus, British education system created a new generation of Indians with the progressive attitudes. Dear students, just recap the points about education. Universities were established. Schools and colleges started. Local literature and languages developed. Periodicals started. English education was introduced. Social religious reformation movements began. Influenced freedom struggle in India. It made Indians to understand and appreciate their rich tradition. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel for more video lessons.